Schedule and a short length of time in the room tonight, so I'm hoping to have a quorum here shortly, but we will go ahead and begin. Make sure it is 5:30.
It is.
All right, 5:31. We're going to start with House Bill. I'm going to go out of order just because this one looks like it'd be so short. 892. Do I have Representative Holcomb? Can you want to do from there? Just tell us what you're trying to do on these hours of massage therapy.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. This is something I've thought about for a number of years, but it gained greater importance this year because, over the last cycle, because the district that I represent was changed to go down to the Cheshire Bridge Road Lenox exit. And just on the east side are two 24-hour massage parlors. And those are not legitimate places. They are places of human trafficking. There are similar establishments around the state, and there aren't any that I've found that are legitimately open for 24 hours. A survey of them has the latest time more like 9 or 10 o'clock, but I don't think a legitimate case can be made for those services at 2, 3, 4 in the morning. And so the idea behind this is to limit the hours so that way individuals that want to have legitimate services can access them regardless of one's work schedule. So the proposal is 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. I stated in the House committee that I wouldn't mind if it was extended to 11 or something like that, because it's still, the overlying intent is just to keep the hours within a period that's reasonable. With respect to cases against human trafficking, I also spoke with law enforcement officers and learned quite a bit. One is that they are aware that this is happening. They do want to do something about it. However, they have other pressures and demands on resources and time, murders, rapes, and other serious offenses. And then the other insight which was shared with me, which I did not know, was they really don't want to bring these cases. We could potentially joke about it and everything else, but these are cases that they don't enjoy prosecuting. They have to put themselves in vulnerable positions. It's then embarrassing to talk about the activity in terms of a courtroom and being in a public place. So the ultimate idea, this is not a panacea for the problem of human trafficking, but it will hit the traffickers in their pocketbooks, because they will not be able to have their businesses open 24 hours, which is what they're doing now, and forcing individuals to work there. So that's the idea. It's a fairly simple bill, and it was revised, Mr. Chairman and members of the committee, just slightly from what the House passed, because after it was passed on Friday night, I received inquiries. There are legitimate spas, for example, Jeju Spa up in Gwinnett, that are open 24 hours, and so I wanted to make it clear that they could stay open 24 hours. They do not have massage 24 hours. They have massage sort of consistent with what is here, but it would make it clear that they can keep all of their other business activities open and wouldn't be impacted, because I wouldn't want to shut down a legitimate business. So
How would you do that? You would amend the language of this?
it already was, Mr. Chairman. I specifically asked for it from Legislative Counsel, and so they tailored it to make it to where it satisfies that. They took out the definition of entity.
Is that what that was done for?
Yes, sir. And then the other, this is sort of technical and legal, but the other change that was made was on line 29. They removed the line of licensed, because candidly many individuals who are being trafficked, they're not licensed. They're forced to do it without their will. And so it's just, if anybody is participating in those activities, it's a little bit broader. But that was the specific request that I made to Legislative Counsel, and so it's my understanding that this reflects.
What document are you working off of? We have LC 560649S.
That's it.
I don't see where this says anything about the other sort of services of a spa are available.
My understanding, Mr. Chairman, is the deletion of entity on lines 10 and 11 makes it to where it won't impact other businesses, and that's reflected in other places throughout the code.
So how do you know bad things are happening in these places at night? Is that just something you're suspecting because of the location of the businesses, or are there complaints we've had?
It's pretty widely known, and there are websites that explicitly talk about the activities that go on at these places. I also talk to individuals at CJCC and in law enforcement, and it's pretty common knowledge in terms of the activities that are taking place. And I'll share that my primary goal is on human trafficking. However, it's also true that like prostitution and other aspects of massage for sexual purposes are also outlawed under the official code of Georgia, annotated as well.
All right, I'm going to recognize Senator Albers for a question.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Representative Holcomb, always great to see you. A couple quick questions. I do see where I think this separates out the entity versus someone performing a massage. So if I could make an assumption that maybe this is a spa that people might get their, a facial or their nails done or whatever it happens to be, and massages. I guess where I'm struggling with this, if we say, well, you can't do a massage between those times, if they're already committing crimes doing illicit activity, would that separate someone coming out that said, I came for another service, and they did that anyway? I'm just wondering if this is going to attack the problem that I think, which is very noble, that I think you're trying to get to.
Thank you, Senator Albers. That's a great question, and my understanding is that the places that I'm talking about, they only offer massage services, or at least that's what they advertise to the public, is only massage services. And so they wouldn't be able to be open because they don't provide anything else. Like the Jeju Spa, which is a legitimate place, that does have other offerings, but these really illicit and illegal places, that's all that they offer. And so if the state code mandates that they shut their doors at X hours, that's very easy for the police to go and enforce it because they won't be able to stay
If I could
open.
ask a follow-up question. So, and I hear what you're saying. If you look at things like local control for when someone closed down a bar, restaurant, things of that nature, typically we've reserved that right for the local, city, county, the municipality to handle that. Is that something that we should be doing at the state level, or we should be focusing more on local control? Today.
I think a statewide approach to address the problem, which human trafficking is a statewide problem. I favor, in this instance, having a statewide approach, and I'm not sure exactly why the cities aren't doing more to limit it, but we certainly have the police powers to be able to enact something like this, which may even assist them, because as I mentioned in my conversations with law enforcement, they know what's happening. It's just a resource drain and not something that they really want to spend their time on.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Senator Summers, and then next will be Senator Brass on deck.
Thank you, Reverend Holcomb. I appreciate where you're going with this, but I have some serious issues with government overreach. And I'm not just here protecting massage parlors. I don't even know where one is. I mean, I see them when I ride down the road. It says massage with a blue or green or purple light blinking or whatever, but. And, Walmart's open 24 hours a day. Krispy Kreme donuts right here on Piedmont. You want to see the best of the best? You go at 1 o'clock in the morning. You'll find the best of the best at Krispy Kreme donuts right down here on Piedmont. Those type things. It concerns me that we're trying to tell a business that's licensed by a city, that's got a city business license to go. My question is to you is why are we sitting at say at 10 p.m.? Why not 1 p.m. where, because a lot of people don't get off work to certain hours of the day. I'm just.
AM.
Thank you for your
1
comments.
p.m. a.m. So 1 a.m. in the morning. I apologize. Thank you.
He's dyslexic.
Oh, got massage got me excited. I'm sorry. Hell, I got thinking about it. What can I tell you?
So, the idea was between 6 a.m. and 10 p.m. that regardless of one's work schedule, you would be able to have access to the services. Certainly, if the committee wanted to extend it to 11 or even midnight, I would certainly be fine with that. I will submit that I think there's a significant distinction between Walmart and Krispy Kreme with these establishments, because Walmart and Krispy Kreme are not also blending illegal activity, nor are they blending illegal activity that involves human trafficking. And it's unfortunate, but these places are dens of human trafficking. And
Do we have records of human trafficking? I mean, is that something we know about, or that we know is, you have records on that?
Yes. In fact, there was just a sting, and it's a little bit of a whack-a-mole problem, but there was just a sting up in like the Sandy Springs area. GBI often will work with local law enforcement, and they target specifically spas like this. Not all of them are open 24 hours, so this won't solve everything, but the ones that are open 24 hours clearly are offenders. There's no doubt about it. And if you wanted to go and check one out at like 2 or 3 in the morning, you would see that what I'm telling you is true.
Are we speaking in general of labor, maybe, is that a prostitution type thing? Is that what you're trying to get to?
Yes, against their will often. Exactly.
Well, doesn't local law enforcement, I mean, isn't that their job?
It is their job to enforce it. What this would do is it would give them another tool to address it, because as I stated, they have limited resources. And so they have murders to solve, they have rapes to solve, they have larcenies, robberies, you name it, to solve. So of all those crimes, this one tends to get ignored, and it tends to get pushed to the side, in addition to the other factors that I mentioned, that law enforcement, they don't have great enthusiasm for bringing these cases. They're hard to bring. And so does this completely solve the problem? No. But will it immediately and I think significantly impact the economics of the traffickers because they make money all night long? Yes, it will.
Thank you.
Senator Brass, you're recognized for a question.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you for bringing the bill. I do have a few questions, Representative Holcomb, if you'll indulge me. So, are you aware of any other businesses we regulate their hours outside of alcohol type, besides liquor stores and sale of beer and bars and all that? Are there any other businesses that you're aware of? And you may not know the answer. I'm not. This isn't a setup question. I'm just curious, because it's kind of going to Senator Summers' overreach question.
Other than the ones that you mentioned, I'm not. So this is a different direction to try to tackle the problem.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, by your logic, the airport is kind of the number one place for human trafficking, and we don't talk about shutting it down from 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. And, would that help?
No, those are two different things. That's where people are being trafficked, but that's in the part of transportation. They're not actually, I think, performing the acts there. That's just where they're being sent through.
Okay.
Whereas the spas are where they're forced to, if you can call it work, that's where they're forced to perform deeds and acts. And
Okay, well then by that logic, then should we shut down hotels and motels to where they can't allow outside guests in from 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. where the acts are taking place?
I think that's overbroad, even though there are hotels where trafficking does take place, but they're not, it's not a one-for-one equation. Whereas I think with 24-hour spas, it's roughly a 1-to-1 equation.
And we have data that shows that on human trafficking or on prostitution?
We have data on it. I don't know that every single spa has been investigated, but it is generally known to be common knowledge.
Okay. Well, again, I appreciate you trying to make a difference. I mean, it certainly needs to be addressed and continue to be addressed by this body. And so thank you for at least attempting.
You're welcome.
Leader, did you have a question? You're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And on the idea of local control, we usurp local control around here all the time. But I do have a question. Was there any thought given about maybe if a place had been given a prior citation, or because there's so lack of enforcement, doing a prior citation, you would never get to a prior citation to have this go into effect? Because it's just not going to have many prior citations to put somebody on notice like that.
Correct, and it's more just the knowledge and awareness of what is taking place there and the lack of sort of enforcement and sustained enforcement.
I have one other question.
Go ahead.
The entities, I guess massage parlors who would be affected, in your prior hearings in the House, did they come forward then? Because I don't know if anybody's here now. Did they come forward then and say they're wrong or anything like that?
No, I haven't heard any opposition to the bill from either any proprietor of any type of massage parlor, with the exception that I stated at the beginning of the Jeju Spa in Gwinnett, which is lawful, and so we don't want to limit their hours. So this would allow them to stay open. Interestingly, they don't provide massage services on a 24-hour basis. I haven't found any that are legitimate that provide it on a 24-hour basis.
All right, thank you, Mr. Chair.
What committee did this come through in the House?
Regulated industries.
Okay. And what was your vote on the floor, do you recall?
I do. There were 7 nays. I can't remember
Okay. I don't need to know their names. Curious, do you have any concern that this just would drive this underground worse than it is now? If
I don't know the answer to that. It is something that I've thought about, and it's one of those things that it's impossible to really predict how it will go, but I still think that this is worth doing because what we're doing now isn't working, and it's just there, and it's right in the open, and it passes by year after year after year. So,
okay. What's the pleasure of the committee? Oh, I'm sorry. You're recognized, Senator Harbison.
Briefly, I don't want to be too redundant, but just express my concern equally. I can see your concern, and I would be too. But at the same time, along the lines of questions Senator Brass and others, you said they're aware of it. Why not bring in like a task force of the GBI to deal with it before you reach this, or have they done that? I don't know that. I'm really curious about that, but I really sympathize with your position on that.
there have been law enforcement activities, and then they shut down, and then they often reopen. But the economic model of them being open 24 hours helps facilitate their trafficking. Stated differently, if this were to be passed and enacted as a statute, no legitimate business is going to be harmed by it.
Okay.
Because their hours are already within the hours that we're talking about.
Okay. Thank you. Yep.
All right.
If I could say something.
You recognize Senator Williams?
Thank you. I just remember just a couple of weeks ago, there was a sting operation where officers went into some of these massage parlors here in Atlanta, and they were arrested and busted. But what you got to realize too, a lot of times it's embarrassing on the officer for having to go through it and for having to participate in it, then get on the stand and be questioned about it and have to describe what he went through.
That's
Right.
exactly right.
Nobody else is signed up. Yes, you recognize, Mr. Leader.
If we was to go forward, would it be a friendly amendment if we changed it to midnight to 6 a.m.?
It would be.
Okay.
Midnight to 4 a.m.
I think it says that.
Work at 5 o'clock, might want a massage at 4 a.m., I don't know. I'm against it anyway.
Is there any interest in the committee to make a motion?
I make a motion to pass.
Got a motion to pass and a second by Senator Anderson. Senator Williams made a motion. All right, so now time for discussion amendment. I'll recognize you, Senator Jones, for a proposed amendment.
I'd like to look at line 37 on page 2. I'll make it 1 a.m. and make where it says between 1 a.m. and 6 a.m.
All right, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Senator Harbison. Any further discussion on that amendment? It's limiting the time to 1 a.m. to 6 a.m. instead of 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. All right, all in favor, raise your hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in favor. All opposed? 1 opposed. 6 to 1. That amendment passes. Are there any further proposed amendments?
I was just
Say that again?
yes on the amendment.
Oh, okay, 7 to 1. I thought you were changing hours to 7 o'clock. Okay.
That was the amendment vote?
That was the amendment.
Oh, I'm sorry, I was for the amendment.
All right, well, it's 8-0. We'll record you as such. All right, hearing no further amendments, all in favor of the Regulated Industries Now substitute, House Bill 892, we're working off of LC 560649S as amended, raise your hand. Well, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all opposed. We got 3 opposed. That
No.
passes
Oh, not me.
5 to 3. Thank you. Do you know who you want to carry this for you in the Senate?
I didn't know. Sure.
Okay. My
All right.
former seatmate, Senator Williams. will
Senator
carry it.
Williams.
Thank you.
Massage parlors and funeral parlors have something in common?
Let's hope not.
Funeral parlors down.
Yeah, save some lives.
Get a day off then.
All right. We are burning through some minutes, but we got business to take care of. We'll go back to the top, Representative Cooper, House Bill 1295. You feel free to sit here at the witness chair or the podium, whatever you're more comfortable with.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Are you sure you wouldn't like to go with my colleague? Next, she's bringing you a massage compact for massage,
If that's the way you want it.
well,
Some of us will be leaving shortly, but I wanted to give you a chance.
I was just being funny.
Oh,
It's a
oh,
compact
okay.
For massage therapy.
I see. Well, it might have been too late to start that bill.
So, when I write my book, when I leave from here, I think this will be one of the things ironic that would be coming, although Deb's is really serious. I bring to you House Bill 1295. This is a compact, like many other compacts that we've passed in both chambers for nursing and for physicians. It's for physicians' assistants. So that it makes it easier, like all compacts, for someone who's licensed in good standing and a member of the compact. It makes it easier and quicker for them to get a license in Georgia. We use this many, many times during the pandemic for the nurses and physicians, making it easier for physicians from other places, but especially the traveling nurses that we had to have to take care of patients. If they were from a compact state, it was much easier for them to get a license in the state of Georgia, which they have to do. They have to meet the compact's regulations and Georgia regulations and follow our scope of practice, whatever that is. So that's basically what it is. Another compact, it will be the 23rd, I believe, in the states for this one, for physician's assistants. And I'll be glad to answer questions.
How many states have to sign on for it to become effective?
It's
already
working.
there?
It's already working.
Okay. Any questions from committee members?
I believe, wait a minute, let me make sure. It is, right?
It is, they're.
I said that and then I went. Just how many states for it to work?
22 states that are in it right now, and they're in the process of the RFP process for the data center, the data system that's going to work with the compact. So it's on track to be
It's on track.
implemented in the beginning of 2027. That's why the effective date is July 2027 in the bill.
So they have enough states, but it's just in the process of being set up.
Senator Albers has a question. You're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Madam Chairwoman, always great to see my Cobb delegation mate. I think you referenced this, but as my memory serves, during the pandemic, when the governor did this across the board, it really streamlined the process. And all we're doing now is codifying the success we saw during the pandemic. Is that not accurate?
Basically, right, especially in the medical field.
Thank you. Appropriate time, I'll make a motion.
Sheila Hummerstone, you had signed up to, that's what you want to say? Okay. Anybody else got any questions? All right, then Senator Albers, you're recognized for your motion.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I move we pass House Bill 1295 LC 461472S.
Got a second by Senator Harbison. Any discussion or proposed amendments? All right, and you were very quick. If you will raise your hand if you're in favor of the motion, do pass.
Thank you, and thank you to the
Appears
members of
to
the
be
committee.
unanimous.
Thank
Who
you,
would you
sir.
like to carry your bill?
Pardon?
Who would you like to carry that in the Senate, a sponsor?
They're still working on it.
Okay,
Unless
try to
I
let
can-
us know in the morning if you can, when we turn this into the Secretary of the Senate.
Senator Albers, would you like
Oh,
to carry
my.
it? Senator Albers.
Wait until we call it up first.
Senator, did you hear?
I'm sorry,
Senator
Albers, I got him. He
Thank
is
you very
on
much.
deck. He loves it. All right, last bill we're gonna hear is House Bill 232, Representative Silcox.
It's okay.
All right, folks, you have a substitute in your file. It's LC 560653S. I don't think anything was changed other than when it got recommitted, we
Correct.
gave it a new number, so just so you know,
Correct.
we're not changing your bill on you.
No, I appreciate that. And, you know, I do bring you again House Bill 232. And it would, of course, make Georgia the sixth state to pass this interstate compact for massage therapists. It does take 7 states, and I have with me today the Director of Legal Affairs for the National Organization of Massage Therapy, and her name is Mylyn.
Mylyn Patrine.
And so she can answer any questions that I don't know the answer to. But like I said, this is about to pass in Missouri. And so if it passes in Missouri today, is that correct? It got out of committee today. Then Georgia would be the 7th to activate the compact fully to make it live. This bill, of course, would increase public access to massage therapy services, providing for a multi-state licensing pathway, enhance our state's ability to prevent human trafficking, as well as licensing fraud. And most importantly to me, it would support a lot of military people and their spouses, because there are a lot of massage therapists that are spouses of military members, and increase our ability to protect the public's health and safety. It does, to me, also notably increase the number of hours required for licensing to 625 hours, which puts us in step with neighboring states and is the national standard.
All right. Any questions for the author? Senator Harbison, you're recognized for a question.
Is this the version?
It's the same that we passed last time.
No, is there another version to this that the military wanted as opposed to this version here?
There's not another version. There was a letter from the War Department.
Right.
Because I think there is some dispute about the number of hours.
Yes.
But this, like I said, I do think that this bill is superior to the War Department's position currently, because this would set it at a higher education level and put us in step, like I said, with the neighboring states. So I do think that this is the superior position.
All right. Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Yes.
Okay. Other questions? Maylin, oh, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Representative Silcox, last time we just ran out of time. Is that what the problem was? Did you get across the floor on the bill? What did you said? There's no change. What happened?
It just didn't get taken up.
Okay, so you
It
ran.
just-
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. what was the hour change last time, if you don't mind me asking? 'Cause I'm
I
trying to,
believe it was, if you look at page 3, at line 61, it originally was 500 hours, and it increases it to 625 hours of course and clinical work, which is in person as well as coursework.
Mr. Chairman, and everybody's on board with the 625 hours? I mean, there's,
Yes, they are. Mhm. All the schools in Georgia are. Yeah, actually, if we don't raise it to 625 hours, then a lot of our students are going to lose their Pell Grant eligibility because it is the national federal standard.
we're just doing what they ask, okay?
Right.
Senator Brass, you're recognized for a question.
Thank you, Representative Silcox. Thank you. Question. So I'm looking at the letter from the Office of the Assistant Secretary of War.
War Department.
What amendments are they wanting? What do they want different than what's in your bill?
And I'm going to let
Because it's not really
Mylan
spelled out,
take over
so
here.
I can't click on the links to this letter.
The Department of War is seeking to change and lower the standards for eligibility for legacy therapists. Compact bills are supposed to look forward, but legacy therapists to reduce or to lower the standards and allow work experience without any education to satisfy for the multi-state license. Unlike other healthcare compacts, this compact has a multi-state license, so it's one license. If you qualify for that little higher standard, it's kind of like TSA PreCheck, and you can practice massage therapy in all states. In contrast to some of the other compacts that you might have just heard about, where you have to kind of get a license in each state, but it's kind of an expedited process and it's uniform requirements. So the lower standards of the proposed language will facilitate human trafficking. Human trafficking is a problem in massage therapy because it's been hijacked by these commercial sex and criminal cartels, and that use the massage therapy license as a front for the commercial sex work. And that is the reason that there's a little bit higher standard in the Massage Therapy Compact to filter out those bad actors.
Do you have a copy of the language, Mr. Chairman?
Yes, Senator
Do
Anderson,
you
you're
have a
right.
copy of that? No, this is a letter.
Right.
The language has not, the amended language has not been filed in Georgia.
Okay, where is the language?
I don't have it because CSG and FSMTB do not support the revisions. There are, this version of the compact, the original version, has been adopted by 5 states. No states have adopted the revised language yet. It has been supported again, or the amended language has been rejected by the 5 original states, and in all the states that it has been attempted to be passed has been rejected because it lowers standards and facilitates trafficking.
Maylin, would you introduce yourself and add anything else that you need to tell us? I know you traveled to be here today.
My name is Mylan Petrine. I'm the Director of Legal and Regulatory Affairs at the Federation of State Massage Therapy Boards. That is the national association of all the state agencies that regulate massage therapy. So we are kind of the regulator, and we use their collective experience to kind of identify best practices. And we were the recipient of the grant from the Department of Defense, now the Department of War, to develop the language for this original, what we call the real Interstate Massage Therapy Compact.
George Ray, you have also signed up. If you want to come to the podium up here, I'll let you be counterpoint. You are against the bill.
Who knew that interstate compacts would be so exciting? No, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you to Representative Silcox for your interest and your work on this effort. We share the interest in multi-state licensure for massage therapy, and particularly supporting families of our military folks who are serving. So my name is George Ray. I'm with Gold Dome Partners, and I'm happy to represent the American Massage Therapy Association, which is the Association of Massage Therapy Practitioners across the U.S., also known as AMTA. We do rise in support of interstate licensure for massage therapists, licensed massage therapists, but we are opposed to this specific language that's in House Bill 232. So as you've heard, as you've heard before, when this is heard before the committee, this language that's in 232 232 actually limits the opportunity for Georgia licensed massage therapists to take their training elsewhere and to do work elsewhere in two key ways. One, it limits the ability of veteran massage therapists, individuals who've been licensed in this state for a long time, to be able to access interstate licensure. And it also increases the amount of education required beyond the 500 hours that are currently required under state law that have been established by this legislature to 625 hours, as we've already talked about. So in effect, adopting this interstate licensure, this compact, would require that those who are already licensed and practicing in Georgia to return to the classroom in order to access multi-state licensure, costing them time and money for this training. These increased requirements are part of the reason why this compact has only been passed in 5 states, and 4.5 really, I can come back to that, over the 3+ years that it's been out in the ether. And it's also why the Department of War and the Council on State Governments invited all the stakeholders back to the table over the interim to draft some updated language, of which there is a new version of the compact out there, to address some of these concerns. So the key changes in the new version of the compact, and we're happy to provide that language to the committee, we have provided it to the author in previous times, is one, it allows that individuals can access the interstate licensure by first meeting the licensure requirements of their home state, which may have different hour requirements than Georgia, and 2, passing a national licensing exam. So it's a 2-part piece, not just a meet your own state's licensure, which may have a different standard, but also passing a national licensure exam, which we require in Georgia already. So the new version of the legislation, which we are promoting in a number of states, including in Tennessee and South Carolina right now, will allow Georgia practitioners to access multi-state licensure, given their current training and licensure, while also maintaining the already high standards for massage therapy in Georgia. So I do want to address the contention that the new language will somehow open the door to human trafficking or create, all these parade of horribles. It's just simply not true, because, again, the new language of the compact requires licensure in a home state and passing the national licensing exam, of which the Federation has one and manages one. That language is in the new version of the bill and will protect consumers against the parade of horribles that the Federation is purporting. So, as we've offered before, we would be happy to bring the stakeholders, all the stakeholders, to the table to talk about the different versions and really get down to the brass tacks on this. But we urge you to oppose the current language of 232, because it puts the interests of the politically appointed regulators ahead of the practitioners that are licensed and practicing out in Georgia right now. So happy to answer any questions.
Senator Williams, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. What if you were to grandfather in the existing licensed people?
So the challenge with compacts is the same language needs to be adopted in every state, which is what puts us in this sort of dueling battle right now of the old language, which has been adopted in 5 states but can only take effect in 4 because Ohio doesn't have a continuing ed requirement that's required to participate. Or you have to take the new language, which addresses sort of a broader set of the concerns that we believe kept the compact from being adopted more widely. So any specific changes like that, Chairman, would require another rework of the compact and passage in multiple states again. So there is active work just so you know, there's active work in a number of states to adopt the new language, as well as amend the language that was adopted in other states. That's ongoing. Obviously, our legislature moves faster than most, so those processes are a little bit further behind than we are here. But as I said, the bill has been introduced and is being considered in our neighboring states of Tennessee and South Carolina. I believe North Carolina has it introduced, and I can get you a more full inventory, but.
Okay. Do you have any further questions? Senator? No, sir. Right. Senator Ginn, you're recognized.
I have a question for George as well as the sponsor. What is the good thing about passing it or bad thing about passing it today? Why is the urgency one way or the other? And if y'all would both give me kind of feedback on that.
Go ahead, George.
Sure. A couple issues with the language that says pass today. One, it's going to increase the hour training requirement beyond what Georgia already requires for licensure. So any Georgia licensed massage therapist who only had the 500 hours of training is going to need to get additional training to access the interstate licensure. We also don't want to sort of bar our legacy, to use the word that's been legacy trained and not practicing licensed massage therapists who have gone through the process before to be licensed, who are practicing in Georgia right now, from being able to access this. The old version of the language that you're looking before you requires not only those 625 hours of training, but also passage of the specific national licensure exam that the Federation has created and managed. And there are some practitioners in Georgia who passed another national licensure exam before 2015 that would be allowed under the new language that's being proposed rather than the old language. So by passing 232 today, you eliminate some access of interstate licensure to Georgia practitioners.
So if I could respond also to your question, I think the number one reason to pass the original version is the Georgia Board of Massage Therapy supports the original version. Number two, it doesn't limit them because they can, the grandparenting of people that are already in the profession is supposed to be done by rulemaking. That is, it's supposed to be done by the regulators. There's no intent in this bill to cut out the people that are currently practicing. It was just supposed to be done by regulation rather than by statute. The number three reason to pass it today is so that our students that are in massage therapy will not lose their Pell Grants. And this will get us closer, it will get us one state closer to being a full-fledged compact. And I know that there are people moving to Georgia that are in the military that they could get their license right away. They could start working right away.
Senator Brass, you're recognized for a question.
All right. So, first question, I got a couple questions if you'll allow, Mr. Chairman. First question, what exactly is a legacy therapist?
It's
'Cause I've
just
heard
someone
that
who's
term.
been practicing for a long time that doesn't have the same credentials as someone who would want to become a massage therapist now. They would have to do the 625 hours. So, and that may be different in different states.
One of the reasons that the original compact language was written the way it was is because massage therapy has different requirements across all of the different states. So some states have 500 hours of education, some have 1,000, some originally had 300 hours of education. Therefore, the intention of the group that drafted the language was to leave those policy decisions to rulemaking because they would be the best ones closest to the applicants to determine the substantial equivalence. No Georgia therapist who has 500 hours of education and core education will necessarily be excluded from this. There was intention and discussion at the drafting table to allow continuing education, years of experience, years of licensure to be substantially equivalent to the 625 hours. But it was decided that because of the variability in requirements across the country, that the commission, made up of the regulators of all the different states, could best decide how to be as inclusive as possible. There is no intention to exclude anybody other than the bad actors. And there are a lot of massage therapists with 500 or 625 hours of education who've worked 2 years, who've passed a licensing exam, who are victims of human trafficking. So they could get a multi-state license, and that would just allow the traffickers to move them from state to state without any additional vetting that they have to go through now.
I guess, so my question, I mean, you said the 500 to 625, I don't see how that correlates with human trafficking. But what are these massage therapists learning from hour 500 to 625 that they didn't learn in the first 500?
I'm not a massage therapist, but as massage therapy has advanced as a healthcare profession and has expanded access, it's become less of a luxury item and more of a pain management, stress reliever, oncology, lymphatic drainage. There are more contraindications that become apparent as opposed to just pure the relaxation massage. So there's more healthcare involvement and therefore more healthcare knowledge is needed.
Okay, and I guess a final question, I guess in regards to the Pell Grant, is there anything in the bill that stops someone that's receiving the Pell Grant scholarship or funding, whatever? Is there anything that stops them right now from going ahead and getting the 625 hours?
No.
So then, I guess I'm confused on how the Pell Grant plays
Title
into
IV
this.
funding is eligible for programs of education of 600 clock hours or greater.
So
so
what
if you-
would stop them from going ahead and getting that?
Because most massage therapy schools offer the statutory minimum of 500 hours. So if you go to a school that offers a higher program, you can, but it's more money.
Well, then would it not make more sense to say those schools can't offer Pell Grant?
That they cannot.
Yeah, if they can't meet the requirements of Pell Grant, why would students even want to go there?
You are expanding, by increasing the statutory minimum hours from 500 to 625, you're increasing the ability of students to access Pell Grants because schools would have to offer the minimum of 625, which exceeds the 600-hour Pell Grant minimum.
Okay, I mean, I guess my overall concern is, you know, in my 8 years on this committee, and then specifically in the last 4, we've really been trying to kind of roll back on our licensure requirements, and here I feel like we're increasing, we're going against what this committee's been working towards over the last several years.
I got recognize Senator Harbison, the dean, and then
Thank
you'll
you very
go
much.
next.
And along the lines of, I'm the War Department. We are a veteran-friendly state, and we try to attract a lot of military people and their spouses to the. And this seems to just go around that idea and that effort to make sure that we can accommodate our wives and husbands who happen to practice in that area. And we're against the War Department and their recommendation.
I don't think we're against the War Department. I don't
well,
think
you're
they've
against their
decided.
suggestion, ma'am. I don't mean to.
Oh, no,
be-
but I just don't think they've decided.
Say again.
I don't think the War Department has decided.
I can explain all that.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, Mr. Chairman, I got a.
All right, Senator Summers, you're recognized.
Mr. Chairman, in the essence of where we at, and I understand this bill, I'd like to make a motion that we table this bill for right this minute and see if we can understand a little better.
Got a second from Senator Ginn? Any discussion on the motion on the table? Get Senator Jones.
And I'm in agreement with the motion table. I have, on one hand, I have veterans issues. On another hand, I have human trafficking and Pell Grants. They both come from a very noble area. I don't understand why we cannot get together and figure this out. But this has happened before to where this is supposed to have happened, but it's not. And I guess I would like a little bit more time, and if they come back and say there's no way we can figure it out, then we'll have to make a tough decision. But both are coming from a noble place, and I would like to give it a little bit more time. But at some point, we are going to make a decision on this.
All right. All in
Would you
favor?
would
Go
you
ahead.
let her speak
Yes.
to the letter?
Marlene, you may.
Do you want, I mean, we are meeting with the Department of War on Thursday. CSG is facilitating that discussion because CSG supports the original version of the language since they facilitated it.
And CSG is?
Department of War, CSG, and AMTA and FSMTB all have the same shared goal, and that is to enact the compact. This original version was intended to address all of the concerns raised by AMTA in rulemaking, not in statute, because putting them in statute restricts the commission from allowing substantial equivalence determinations to be made for legacy and grandparented in therapists at the commission level. And it
Understood.
restricts.
Sounds like
yeah.
you would be in favor of this being tabled until after that meeting on Thursday.
Possibly, but I don't know how much time is left. I mean, we would prefer to vote on the original language. Our goal on Thursday is to get the Department of War to support the original version, and I think CSG is going to help us
You- you're gonna
convince
have-
them to do so.
I can read my committee pretty well. You're going to have a real hard time passing this bill if you get a vote on it today. Then we're not, so let's vote on the motion to table. All in favor of tabling? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's unanimous. I will tell you, but hey, don't leave quite yet. we've been here before, and we were told y'all were gonna work it out over the summer.
That's right.
And now we're burning committee days, killing other House bills by not being able to move them focused on this thing. So I'm going to put this back on our schedule more than likely next Thursday afternoon. We meet at 3 o'clock. We have appropriation subcommittees this week, so I don't think we're going to be able to meet this Thursday. We do have a committee meeting next Tuesday, but it's dedicated to a governor's licensing bill. And maybe one other one, so just be prepared. Y'all,
Understand.
you're under a shot clock. If you want to try to work it out, either there's going to be a winner and a loser, or y'all going to have two winners. It's up to you. All right, with that, we stand adjourned.
Okay. We'll make ourselves available, Chairman.